This is the Men's Conference, the ultimate guide to guy wisdom.
Hello, welcome, thank you for joining me. My name is Emmanuel and this is the Men's Conference, a space where we talk about anything and everything to do with men, mental health, wellness and general well-being. I thought today we should talk about immortalizing the memory of our fathers, whether living or no longer with us, harnessing the knowledge they've passed on through bonds, conversations and by observing the way they carried themselves around in good and bad times. Bongani is a young journalist, part-time computer tech, who's working towards a book, Lessons from My Father, where he shares fond memories of the life that he shared with his father, his late father. So our conversation is around this father-son relationship, sacrifices, and the pressure to do better, the pressure to be the best that most men go through, and what lessons we harness from the way our fathers handle such pressure and are able to have an open and honest conversation about their limits, what they can do, and how far they can go.
I'll share this one situation where I got a place in Australia to study IT, something like that. So the amount that was needed was like 25,000 Australian dollars. Then we had to guarantee another 25,000 Australian dollars, so everything was like 50 grand. Then he saw that it was my desire to go there. Then he said to me, I want to put the house up and get a loan, and then you can go to Australia. I went back, I slept on it, and I woke up the next morning and I told him in the evening that no, don't do that. I don't think there's a need for that. Let me look for a university or something here. You don't have to really stress. When I look back, I think he was trying to see the level of my thinking, or it was just him opening up to me that I do not have the money, but this is the sacrifice I want to do for you. And me, being me, I said, I cannot have the house put up just because I'm going to go to Australia and learn there. Let me just stay in Zimbabwe and learn here. I'm not doing too bad with that. And with stressful situations, my father will not show that there's stress in the house or he's stressed about something. He's always calm. And he's always thinking ahead. He's always planning ahead. I think that's what I've learned from him. He plans ahead. He doesn't plan for now that I need his chair for today. He will plan that I'll buy his chair for the whole month. Or I'll pay this, or do this and do that. Planning is the one that's how he dealt with stress. If things didn't go his way, not the second option or the option that is left for him is to pray. You pray about it. And he's not going to pray about it in his bedroom. You pray about it in front of us, with us, as a family. That's why I go back to the foundation of his Christian beliefs. That if everything else fails, okay, God, this is me. I have failed. My plans and my strengths have failed me. I'm now left with you. Help me. And all the time when that happens, God answers his prayers. I will even share something that he shared with me, that the way how I was born was like, it took some time for my mother to conceive. But when he sat down, he said he went into the restroom toilet and prayed to God and said, if this if I fail to have a child, I will not. He gave God an ultimatum. I've forgotten. I'll just remember one day. But he said, if you give me a child, I'll praise you for the rest of my life. Some months later, my mother fell pregnant, and voila, Bongani was there. From that day, I've never seen a day where we wake up or we go to church every Sunday. Everything he takes it to God. And that's what he taught me and everyone in the family.
In our African context, in our African lifestyle, it's commonplace that fathers do not apologize when they've made a mistake, or simply to accept that they've been wrong and they need to do better. And in harnessing the memory of some of our fathers, it's important for us to talk about those fathers who actually apologize, who accept their wrongs and try to mend relations or try to be better, and what impact this has on their kids, what impact it has on their sons, and moving forward, what is the importance of a father humbling himself and accepting that he's been wrong?
Well, my father, the way he dealt with confrontation was, you sit down and we discuss during prayer. Every day there was prayer at home, whether it's 6:30 to 7 o'clock and all that, and everyone would share whatever is in their heart. Then it came to a point when I was now in my teens. He would say to us, if you got something, or I've done something, or your mother has done something that you don't agree with, let's discuss it. Because you cannot live with resentment for the rest of your life because of something. And I tried it. Then him being angry and what because he was the one who did something. He explained himself and apologized. Imagine your father apologizing to you. How humbling is it for him? And how humbling is it for you as an individual? That's how he dealt with confrontation. And that was a lesson for me to say, I'm not going to be a perfect parent, but I'll try by my own means to be perfect for you. I don't know if you get me. I'm not going to be a perfect parent, but I'll try to be perfect. I'll try to aspire to what you think a good parent is. I make mistakes. I can acknowledge my mistakes. That now informs me when I'm in situations or where I'm supposed to react in a way. People are not going to be perfect. I might have an altercation with Marcos. It's not going to be always a mutual relationship. Hey guys, what? But we're going to. But then we having a shouting fest. I can sit down and say, no, Marcos. Manuel, this is how I feel about what you did APC. And if we resolve that issue, which is 99% of the time, we have a mutual respect for each other as friends. And the same thing, that's how he treated my mom. There was no shouting fest at home. No, we sit down, because why you did it in prayer is that everyone has to respect the presence of God in that prayer, because God is with us now. So you cannot be shouting, insulting, and trying to... No, just deal with the facts. That's how he dealt with conflict. And also me, I think if I have a family, that's how I'll deal with conflict, because it worked. But it worked for me. It worked for him, because we still had the same relationship with my father. He would play with you, he would joke around with you, would sit down, watch sport. When we're now old, I was now older, would do that. If I go on tangent, it will bring me back. I become his son again. Hey, young man, why are you doing this? No, it's not like this. You will speak to me.
In this cutting edge technology that we live by these days, it's important to note that people are immortalizing the memory of their elders through pictures, diaries, books, videos. And Bongani hopes that his children and grandchildren may meet their patriarch such that he keeps alive this model of a father.
Well, Lesson for My Father is a book I thought about writing about 2 years ago, after realizing that, there are so many men out there, or boys out there, who do not have, a father. They grew up without a father. They've got that yearning to be around their father. And maybe there are some people who, when they grew up, the father died. Maybe when they were 3, 4, 5, they didn't have that relationship with that father, with their father. So for me, he died when I was 31. I don't think there's more of a relationship I would have had maybe later on. But from the time I could speak, I saw my father. He was always there. And then there were the way he raised his family, the way he raised us. I think it's very important in Zimbabwe. Because in Zimbabwe, there are a lot of people who are just raising their children blindly, without any foundation, without anything. There's no pillar of the home, there's nothing. They're just raising their kids blindly. It's not a book of instructions. It's just lessons that I learned from my father. How he raised me, how my relationship was with him, how I saw his relationship with my father, I saw his relationship with my little sister, how I saw his relationship with my grandfather, his uncle. We stayed with him. Why did he keep him? You see, he was a family man. He loved people. If a family member, you had a problem, my father would just go from north to west to try and to look for a solution for you. And also, I want to contribute that since my grandchildren, my children, will not see their grandfather, but at least there's some glimpse of into his life as a parent. And it's not about as a parent alone, even as a grandfather, because I could see it with my cousins' children, or the relationship that he had with them. He had a different relationship with everybody, but it felt the same. I don't know if you get me. So that's that, and I want to perpetuate his legacy. I want people to know about him. It's good for the history of our family.
I believe that there is no one size fits all, or there is no complete solution to the way that we relate to our fathers, or as fathers, the way that we relate to our children. But it's important that we keep these memories and immortalize them so that we can pass on the knowledge, pass on these wonderful characters from generation to generation. I just want to thank Bongani for his time in giving us an insight into the life that he lived with his father, and I hope that we will be reading his book soon. I'd be glad to hear from you, your thoughts on this and other issues that we talk about on this here, the Men's Conference, from issues to do with man, mental health, wellness, general well-being, and the bonds that we form with those that we care about and those who look up to us as leaders, as caregivers, as providers. My name is Emmanuel, and this here is the Men's Conference. Until next time, stay safe and bye for now.
Join us next week on the Men's Conference. For your views, comments, and questions, catch us on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Men's Conference Podcast; on Twitter, @conference_pod; Instagram, Men's Conference Podcast 01; or you can send a WhatsApp to 0719 711 298. The Men's Conference, the ultimate guide to guy wisdom.